Welcome, everybody!
Oh, hi!
To episode 149, part 2. The second part of the episode,
totally
because Ryan fucking dropped the call.
I did not personally drop anything. I would like to bring my technology for apparently doing it. I guess. So, I don't get it.
What?
My signal, it was at 5 bars, and it dropped down to 1. Connection lost, and then it went boop, and it went right back up. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, if you've just found this episode and you're wondering like where the rest of the episode is, me and Ryan made an executive decision, and I don't want to spend any time editing these episode 1 and 2 together to form one episode. So we're gonna upload two YouTube videos tonight.
But we don't love you guys enough to do actual editing.
No, fuck that. That requires work, and we don't get paid for any of this. So this week and this week only, we are going to have episode 149, part 1, and 149, part 2. So if you started this one, we recommend you go back and watch the other one. That's going to be an hour. This one's only going to be about 10 minutes.
Yeah, so we have more listener questions.
Yeah, so we're halfway through from our Faithful 50 for the rest of Faithful 50, like we said, turning into episode 1. If you decide you just want to watch this part and not watch anything else, I'm Brian West.
And I'm Ryan Thomason.
And you are at the tail end of our show, so we thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
All right.
I really hope this part gets more views than the first part.
Oh my god, that'd be great. It probably will, because it's only going to be 10 minutes, maybe. Yeah. All right. We have one more. Did we answer? I think we answered. No, we didn't answer David's question. So David's question was, before we ended on the last episode, part 1 of this extravaganza, he wanted to know what season, what show had the best first season of any show. He brought up Lost season 1 as an example. I'm going to say Heroes season 1 was one of the most unbelievable shows I ever watched. And
it just did not live up to the first season. I mean, it couldn't even get close to touching it.
The very final episode of season 1 was very anticlimactic because they built up and they just didn't have the budget to really give us the showdown we wanted. But that being said, the first season, Save the Cheerleader, Save the World, was amazing.
And come on, who did not fall in love with Hiro Nakamura? Yes. Who just so excited.
Oh my god, yeah, it was so great. He finally got to be a hero. He was kind of like every nerdy person who ever wanted to be something. I would also say Daredevil season 1 was amazing. We had never seen a show like that before. It was the first superhero show that was just dark and gritty and really, and like movie quality. It was so good.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 1 was pretty good too.
It was hit and miss, but yeah, it was good.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna backtrack that one now that I think about it. I'm just trying to think of something from like more recent.
I'm gonna have to go. You know what? I don't think it's recent. You know what? I think people realize now the kind of the game, right? You plan for 5 seasons and you tell a story. I think Heroes kind of arcing back to the days and Lost of we got to get 1 season. We don't know if we're getting renewed, so let's tell a great story.
Yes. And then we'll spend the rest of the series just crapping all over it.
Trying to figure out exactly what happened. All right.
What happened on what? On Lost or Heroes?
Yes. Hang on.
Or my butt.
Your butt did not have a great season 1. I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm trying to find our messaging. All right. Hang on. Where's our messages? See y'all. No. Somebody sends a message. I'm trying to find it.
Oh, is it a very important message? That's why.
Well, yeah, it was Christine. She sent us a message.
Oh, that's right. I forgot she sent hers in a message.
Sent her a message, and I can't find it. It's not in my messenger. Why is it not in my messenger?
Everything's in your messenger now these days, Brian.
There we go. I found it. I got it. Don't worry about it. All right.
I was going to pull it up from the other side.
Who is amazing and our best lady listener ever.
Yeah.
She wants to know. So, me and her both decorated our homes early for Halloween. My house is completely Halloweened out. And I've been getting a ton of shit for it. Everyone's like, it's not even October. Well, I'm going to be in Vegas the first weekend of October. I'm super busy the next couple of weeks. I'm getting a new tattoo in like 2 days. I don't have time to decorate this weekend. So we decorated all of this last weekend. And apparently she did too.
Halloween, I feel like you can decorate early.
I feel like
all the other holidays, I can't, like Christmas. I can't do anything Christmas until Thanksgiving's over.
I feel all holidays are appropriate 45 days out.
Yeah, I have zero Christmas spirit until after Thanksgiving.
Yes,
absolutely zero. And then after Thanksgiving, I might go for like 5.
Thanksgiving weekend, you decorate for Christmas, and then you pull it down after New Year's. That is the tradition. Well, Halloween is starting for me the second week of September. I'm decorating my shit in Halloween. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Anyway, Christine, I applaud you for also being brave like me. She wants to know, since we both decorated for Halloween this last weekend, she has a Halloween question. Which cult killer is better and why? Michael Myers, or Jason?
I'm going to say Michael Myers because that was the first one I saw.
I'm going to say Jason because he has a hockey mask. He's supernatural, and he's got like 72 movies. Sometimes he's kind of funny. Sometimes he's really scary.
He even went to outer space.
That was great. Jason X is hilarious.
I never saw that one.
It's so bad, but it's really fun. Michael Myers is really scary. He's never been fun. He's always been this psychopath who wants to murder you all the time.
Yeah.
And the Rob Zombie movies were just awfully horrible. I mean, like, in a good kind of bad way? I don't really know. But for my money, I've always liked Jason better because there's been a little bit of a camp factor to it where Halloween, Michael Myers is much more scary.
Yeah. I mean, and come on, who was the kid didn't, like, pick out the hockey mask? And you're like, I'm Jason.
That being said, I probably would have to say... I would probably have to say there's better Halloween movies than Jason movies.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the new Halloween movie that, like, ignores all the other Halloween movies.
We need to redo the Scream movies.
I will say, and Michael Myers has a way more iconic, like, theme. It's like, ah!
Isn't Jamie Lee Curtis coming back for
Yes! She's coming back. I think it's great.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, thank you, Christine, for your question, and thanks to everyone who submitted a question for Faithful 50. You guys are awesome. Not a lot of questions this week, but that is all right. They were quality and great as always. So thank you, and if next week you'd like to be part of the show and you want a question answered, me and Ryan will always give you our honest opinion, whether it's good or bad. We don't care. Yeah. We'll say it.
As long as you're not boring Chris.
Yep. Chris is, I'm not going to say he's banned, but he's on a timeout. I don't know, Chris. I don't know if I can trust you anymore. I just don't. Anyway, if you'd like to leave a question, next week Ryan will put up a post on Facebook on Thursday. All you got to do is follow us on Facebook and be part of the show. Just put a question up or even message us directly like a lot of like David and Christine do. And we would be more than happy to answer it on our show.
Yeah, and you get a shout out. You get internet famous.
Yes, internet famous, which is worth 17 denarii dollars.
Yes, and you can also exchange it for Dogecoin.
Is that true? Can we do that?
Yeah, I set up the whole blockchain and everything.
Well, maybe you should share the password, Ryan, you dick. God, whatever.
I thought I gave it to you.
You cannot trust a co-host, I swear to God. All right, moving on. Recommendations. This week, usually me and Ryan give you a recommendation.
Just one.
I said see Solo, so technically you get two. But yeah, Ryan is right. We want to talk real quickly about the DC Expanded Universe app. What's this officially called? Let me look here.
The DC
Universe.
Yes.
I think. I don't know. Let me look again.
DC Universe.
The DC Universe app. So we've talked a lot about it on this show. I actually subscribed to it early. Well, I subscribed to it and I got access to it. So we wanted to
wait.
He wanted to wait. I bought it immediately because they were offering you like 3 or 4 months free.
Yeah. And Brian has zero impulse control when it comes to making purchases.
Yeah. I'm lucky enough to have a 2-income family, so I was like, screw it, I'm just going to buy it. And so I had a moment to check it out.
You have such a great background behind it.
Yeah, that's why I have all these toys. Look at my. Speaking of which, we talked about my wife on on part 1 and our 13th anniversary. Look what she got me. That's how much she loves me. Guess who that is?
That's pretty rad.
Bond. James Bond. Yeah. She knows me. She loves me. Anyway, what were we talking about? I don't know. Oh, yeah. So DC Universe app launched last week. I wanted to give my initial impression of it, but I wanted to give it a fair shake. We talked a lot about it. So real quick, I had a whole week to mess with it, and so we kind of wanted to give you guys on a recommendation, spend a few minutes talking about the DC Universe platform. Not so much the app, but just the service itself. So first up, I'm going to give you the pros about the DC Universe app. The app itself, they spent a lot of time on the app. It works really, really well. It has not crashed a single time since I've used it. Everything that streams immediately fast. When you download a comic, it downloads immediately. Yeah. The only thing I've noticed is that it's not a comic book where you can download it, turn it off, and come back to it. You have to let it finish or else it stops.
Is it easy to find stuff? Like trying to
here, let me see.
Switch between like shows and comics and everything? Or
can you see it? Let me turn this thing down a little bit. All right, here we go. All right, here's my phone. Here's my beautiful iPhone. All right, so we go to the DC Universe app. First thing you notice here is this is what pops up. It's like I said, it's very smooth. It navigates all kind of the new things on it. And you can see through it. So anyway, you kind of scroll up here, and it's got a lot of stuff in the just in the main menu. It's got movies, comics.
Okay.
A little bit of everything.
That's pretty cool.
Now you can get this. The cool thing about this app is you can get it on your iPhone or any Android or iOS device. You can get it on your tablet. You can get it on your Roku, your Android. So you can watch it on your TV if you have those. You can get it on your Apple TV. I have not downloaded to any of my streaming things yet. So I'm hoping they get it on Xbox Live because that's what I do a lot of my streaming in my main room on. But I don't know yet, so I'll let you guys know next time. But anyway, if you go down, so judging from your phone, so the service on the iPad is very similar to this. So anyway, you go here. So that's just your main things. If you go to the movie section, like you can see, everything works really good. I can't speak highly enough of how functional it is. They spend a lot of time in the infrastructure of this thing. A lot of new apps are very buggy, and they crash all the time. This is not one of those. As you can see, I'm barely touching it, and it scrolls very easily. And it goes left to right. So, anyway, these are all the series it offers. I mean, they got some really good content, but as you can see, I've already stopped scrolling. We'll talk about that in a minute. But what I can say is like when you watch something here, so Batman Mask of the Phantasm, it loads very quickly, usually.
And that's in full HD, right?
Some of them are. Some of the things they have not redone it completely in HD. Now, where'd it go? There you go.
Oh, wow. Looks good.
Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I don't want to play too much because I don't want to get copyrighted. But it streams very fast. It streams very well. The buffering is really good. It's a lot like Netflix. It loads a lot in advance, so if you lose signal or whatever. But they have a lot of things to offer. So they got the entire Batman animated series. They have all the Batman movies, all the Superman movies. There's a lot of content on here that DC owns, which is pretty cool. But most noticeably, there's a lot of content missing. But we're talking about it in a minute. So right now, we're talking about things that you actually like. So that's the movie section. It works really good. Most things are in HD. They have a lot of the animated movies on here. Right now, they got a ton of Batman content because it's Batman's anniversary was like National Batman Day was here. So anyway, you go next to the middle one. It's the comic books, right? So very much like the Marvel Unlimited app, they have a lot of comic books on here.
All the comic books, right?
No, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the comic books they have are very easy to navigate. One of the things that's very good about this is they've grouped it into comic book collections. So Shadow the Bat. They've also grouped it into the comic book storylines. So what's really cool is they'll put like right here, they've got Identity Crisis. So if you want to read Identity Crisis, you click on this. And it brings up all the Identity Crisis comic books.
So it stays in line with the crossovers, so it'll be like
Yeah, so like for instance, if you want a storyline, it gives you all the ones you need to read.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of cool.
That's what I wanted, because I was concerned that if I got it and it's, read the next one in the Green Lantern, issue number 37, and I have to go try and find that one. and then download it. So they keep everything. It's just kind of like you could just go on a straight path.
Yeah, so like I was gonna bring up one. They had, where is it? Batman: Death in the Family, Sidekick Origins. So like they had Batman: Death in the Family, right? Which is the story of the second Joker getting killed. I'm trying to find out where it was at. Cannot find it. Okay, so if you go to the homepage, like for instance, one of the things that's really cool is they have profile characters on all the characters. So like for instance, essential Batman characters. You want to know Harley Quinn? You can click on Harley Quinn, and it pulls up any movie that Harley Quinn's in, any comic book that's available, any episode of a TV show she's on. So if you want to know about Harley Quinn, you can find a lot of essential Harley Quinn stuff. So that's one of the really cool things about this. If there's a character you want to know about, they made it, like for instance, they had one here. Where is it at? They had there you go, Batwoman, right? Batwoman, yes. She's in a couple of the movies, but she's not in a ton of the other stuff, so they give you the comic books, and then you can go to, it gives you the Wikipedia stuff on that character. So, in essence, any character you want to know about in the DC Universe, you can find out about. And if they tie into anything on the app, it'll give you that. So if you're like, I don't know who Poison Ivy is, you can search Poison Ivy, and it'll pull up anything related to Poison Ivy on the app, or at least it'll send you to the Wikipedia where you can see all her information.
Just don't watch her in that one movie.
Yes.
The Batman Forever or whatever.
So, anyway, so essential Batman stories. So you go here to Batman Death in the Family. Now, if you look, it's a lot of different comic books, but it gives you all the comic books you need in the order you need to read them in.
Oh, that's pretty rad. So, that was what I really wanted, honestly.
So, yeah, I mean, just scrolling through, you guys can see, I mean, it's very smooth. It's very easy to use. The app itself works amazing. I downloaded a comic book. Where's my comics? Hang on. Let's see my DC here. Downloads, most recent.
There's been no extra hidden charges.
No. What you see is what you get. I downloaded a comic earlier. I can't seem to find it here, but of course. But here, I'm going to do it real quick. So you download an issue. It goes really fast. I just want to show you guys what it looks like. So it's downloading The Authority #1. Here you go, 80 seconds. Read now. Okay, so as you can see, and it scrolls left to right, like a regular comic book would.
Can you zoom in and do anything like that?
You can zoom in, you can zoom out. Like I
Does
said,
it have the thing like Dark Horse, you can double tap it and it just goes by like panels?
I don't know. Let's find out. I haven't done that yet. Oh yeah, there you go, panel.
Yeah.
So I can't speak highly enough about the work they put into this. It works really good. Everything's in HD, like you can see here. It's really nice. It's easy to read. It looks beautiful. The app itself is amazing.
So what are the downsides, Brian?
So here's the downside. When we talked about this earlier, we talked about that they were going to have all the DC comic books, period. That is not even remotely the case. I'd be shocked if they have more than 1,000 comic books on here. Now, 1,000 sounds like a lot, but DC has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of comic books.
Millions.
More notably is not the comics you have, but the ones that are missing. There's a lot of single issues where the second issue apparently is going to eventually lead you to the shop where you can buy more. That is not a good thing. I don't mind buying comic books, but if I'm spending a lot of money for a DC app that has very limited digital content like movies and shows, they should at least supplement it with a lot more comic books, which they could easily do. I'm not upset at the comics they have. They do have some good ones, but it is not nearly the amount of comic books that we were kind of led to believe that was going to be on here.
Do they have the new 52 comics?
They have some, but mostly it's a first 1, 2, 3 issues. They are very limited to individual stories, and some of those stories are not their best-selling stories. They've kept a lot of those for you to still buy, right? Which, here's the thing. I understand you want to still be able to sell your comic books on Amazon or in stores, but at the same time, if you're going to charge people, I spent $75, which isn't a lot of money for a year and a year, 18 months worth of content, but considering there's no new content, we're supposed to get the new Titan series next month. We're supposed to get 10 new series by the end of 2019, but that's a lot of things we're supposed to get that we have not gotten yet. If you were to buy it right now, there is almost nothing new. They have a few new movies. They have the Batman Ninja movie that me and you have not yet watched that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But there's only a handful of things on this app that I have not already seen or read. So you know, there's some things that are really cool. The Batman the Animated Series looks beautiful. They redid the whole thing in HD. The original Wonder Woman series is redone in HD. I have not watched every episode of Lois and Clark, so I may go back and watch that, which is really cool. There's some very fun content on here. They have all the original Supermans. They have Batman Begins. They have Batman the Dark Knight. There's some good content on here. But one, you realize how much content Warner Brothers has leased to other networks because you see how much is not on here. And two, it's just for the money, unless you are just a diehard DC fan, I just don't think it's worth it yet until we get more original content, until we get more comic books. That's where I really feel like they really failed. DC has so much content. There are so many DC animated movies. They could have literally put them all. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of good ones. There's Batman Mask of the Phantasm. There's Batman the Death of Superman the Death of Superman that we just reviewed on the show a few weeks ago. So they have a lot of new animated stuff on here. They have a lot of really good animated stuff on here. But you don't even have the original the Batman series with Adam West on here, right? So there is a lot that is noticeably missing on this app that for what you're paying for, you're not getting as much. And where I'm really sad about it is they really could have changed this by giving us more comic books. They could have said, listen, we don't have a lot of original, but here's 100,000 comics. Read away, right? And not even included the New 52.
And that it's better for them to be able to give people that many things to read. And I mean, don't you want people to be able to have more knowledge about your comic universe than Marvel?
Well, exactly. Now I think the infrastructure is there, and I think they're going to grow, and I think they're going to get a lot of feedback from people once they get this app. And I think one of the things people are going to say is, we want more comics, we want more content. Obviously, now I think the infrastructure. I love what they've done. If you're like, God, you know what? I don't know a lot about Darkseid. You can Google Darkseid on that app, and it's going to bring up everything you need to know about Darkseid, which I think is really good. It's a really good way to introduce people into your universe, and it's going to help the movies, the comic books, everything. But that being said, right now, as it is, it's bare bones at best. Is it worth the $75 commitment? If you're a huge fan like I am, I say sure. If you've got the money, I say sure. But if you don't have the cash, or you're not dying for old stuff, there is nothing new. Now, next month when Titans comes out, I will review it, and I'll let you know maybe it's worth getting it for. But right now, it makes me sad to say it, but unless you're just itching for a lot of comic books from the 80s, I would say pass on this for right now.
I wanted to get it, honestly, but I think I'm going to have to just keep waiting. I want to just be able to dive into a ton of DC comics. That's why I want to get it.
Now, there's some great new shows coming out. We're getting Young Justice Season 2 or 3. If you've never seen Young Justice Season 1 or 2, it's on this app, and it's definitely worth watching. But that being said, in a few months, 2, 3, 4 months, we're going to have 2 or 3 new original series on here. That may be worth it for people to get some new content. Hopefully by then they'll add a lot more comic books. I've already noticed in a week that they've added more content on this. So obviously this is something that is going to continue to grow.
They got one guy at a scanner who just opening up the comic and putting it down on the scanner.
And this being said, like I said, personally, if you're a DC fan like me, for $75, I say get it. You're going to get your money out of it. But if you're not a diehard fan, I mean, the app itself is beautiful. It works great. It's very functional. What it does do, it does extraordinarily well. But it's just lacking a lot of content. But it's very underwhelming for what we thought we were getting to what we actually got. So that is not to say I do not like this. I very much enjoy this app. I'm glad I have it. But if you are struggling financially, or if this is is this another Netflix or the Disney Play, this is not that. You can get most of the stuff on Netflix.
You just want to wait for the shows.
I would say until they get more content or they get shows that you just can't live without, I'd probably wait for a little bit. I mean, listen, it's worth it. The comic books alone, you're going to spend $75 on Comixology, but there's not a lot of new comic books. So it's kind of a trade-off. I like it. I would recommend you get it if you have the disposable cash. But if you're like most Americans or most people in the world, and you're just kind of living paycheck to paycheck, this is not a must-buy service yet. Mm-hmm. It just isn't. So, but I will say this: if you do decide to shell out the money, you won't be disappointed. At least the app itself is beautiful, and there's some cool stuff on there. There's just not a lot of it. Be warned.
Well, I think I'm going to wait until they get some more of the shows out, and then I'll...
He's going to wait until I get drunk one night and give him my password. All right, everybody. We have already gone way too long, and we have a couple other shows to do. So we want to give whoever decided to watch part 2 a little additional time, so we stretch this out. Because, once again, I did not want to edit this together. Sorry, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, before we get out of here, Ryan, would you like to tell everybody where they can find us if they don't already know?
Why, of course, Brian. People can find us on YouTube at the Geek Dad Report, Facebook at the Geek Dad Report, and Twitter at the Geek Dad Report. Brian, you can find him on Twitter at BrianWest53, and I am Big Bruiser. You can also find us on podhell.com, where our good friends at Utah Outcasts hang out. If you're looking for some political and atheist stuff, they know what they're doing over there.
I've even been on a few of those episodes.
And you can, even Brian's been on. I've never been invited because apparently there's reasons why he doesn't want to have me on his show.
It's because you can't win in a no lights ninja deaf person fight.
Thanks, Evil Chris. But you can also find us on iTunes at the Geek Dad Report. So please like us, give us a rating, and leave a comment. That is what we need to survive, or else we just wither and die if we don't get any of those things.
I don't.
So
right,
if you want us to die, then don't do.
Every time you like, subscribe, or listen, an angel gets its wings.
It gives us we have those little hearts, and they float above our heads.
Sizes. And it goes. Speaking of hearts, I saw somebody yesterday, which was awesome. It had the Legend of Zelda little digital hearts tattooed on his arm for each one of his family. I was like, that's pretty cool.
How many hearts do they have?
4.
Just 4? Or they haven't been trying to get all the extra hearts out.
All right. Well, like Ryan said, like, subscribe, tell your friends about us, tell 10 of your friends about us. And as always, thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys. You guys rule. You are the reason why we continue to do this. And as always, everybody, until next week, stay awesome.
And stay nerdy.